The Osmo Action 5 Pro from DJI is an exciting action camera. It's built extremely well, it's a robust unit with some exciting features. And it's exciting to see the Pro name make its entrance here into the Osmo Action world. So it's the Action 5 Pro, not just the Action 5. And so the Pro element of it is what I want to talk about a little bit here with some of the features and modes that are available. One thing that I've noticed from all of my tests is the battery life is incredible. That's one of the big calling cards here of this update. I just want to show you the build quality firstly. So gorgeous build quality as always. We've got the little sliding door here where you put the additional micro SD in. It does come with built-in storage, which I will just show you now. Very easy to access. You literally just go into the settings, scroll all the way down, and you will see storage. So I can tap on that, and I don't even have a micro SD card in this unit, but I have 47.8 gigabytes of internal storage. So very nice to have that in case you accidentally forget your micro SD card, which I'm sure has happened to many of you. It's happened to me. And on top of that, you can extend it out. When I went traveling, I used a 512 gigabyte micro SD on top of that internal storage. This is what it looks like. It's got a gorgeous 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor, an f-stop of 2.8 for the aperture, and a field of view of 155 degrees. On top of that, we have the power button on the side. We have a little port here where you would plug in your USB-C. Nice and easy there. Everything's nice and secure. It is waterproof. In this form factor right now. I've got a front-facing display here, which I can use all of the modes here. I can literally swipe down, go into the settings, click on each mode and adjust it from the front-facing screen. So I've got full functionality here to go between all the modes, or I could just flip it over, tap the screen, swipe up, and now this becomes my primary screen. So you can't use both screens at the same time, but say for example, I've got it facing this way, I can still use this front screen as a viewing screen. So for example, maybe the back is the primary, but I could still see what I need to see from the front for framing, or I can just swipe up like so, and then this becomes the primary, and then the back one becomes locked. So smart little system, really well done. You can tap on the battery to give you a battery reading. In the top left, it's giving me some indicators of the mode I'm in. You've got the Pro mode if I tap over here and open this up. So this gives me some control over exposure, the format, and the white balance as well. Depending on what mode you're in, it's going to open up more features. And now if I'm on just video mode, I've now got a few more features in this Pro menu here. So I've got, a bunch of options now. I've got the exposure, which I can tap on and really play around with that. I can put it into manual, as you can see. I've got the white balance, I've got stabilization scenario, so daily or sport. We've got the color, so normal 8-bit, I can go normal 10-bit, HLG 10-bit, D-Log M 10-bit, bunch of options in there, as you can see, which is really nice. You can see that a few things pop up, so as I go D-Log M 10-bit, I've then got a color recovery, so I can turn that on or off. So if it's off, it's going to be more of a flatter profile by the looks of it, and if it's on, it's going to pop the colors a little bit more. Or you could just go with normal 10-bit as well, or normal 8-bit. So there's a bunch of options. We've got some more custom options here for texture and noise reduction. You've got some mic options here as well, and if you collect up a wireless microphone, you can then customize that even more. Now, let's look a little bit more into some of these settings here. So you can set up custom profiles, makes it a lot easier to just jump between your favorite modes. You've got the quick switch menu, you've got brightness here, you've got the main settings, you can lock orientation, bunch of different things in here. Swipe across to then access the storage as well. So that's all very nice. In the settings, there's so many different options in the settings. You could, this is a whole video in itself just looking at all of the settings here. But what I really wanted to showcase is the modes. So firstly, we've got photo, we've got video, we've got super night, which is more of a night mode, subject tracking, which is an exciting new feature. As I turn this around, you will see that it's actually trying to track me, even though I'm kind of tucked away. Let me just move this prompt, there we go. So I'm tucked away, but it still notices that that's a person. So I can move around and it's still trying to track me, which is really cool stuff here. And it will record in that vertical format, really good for socials, really good for action sports and lots of movement. So that's that mode, which is subject tracking. We've got slow motion, which is always very nice. We've got time lapse, which then opens up to hyperlapse as well. So if you tap here, you can go between hyperlapse or time lapse. And I just want to get a little bit deeper into some of the settings within the settings. So when you're in a mode, you can obviously change even more settings from there. So this is in the photo mode. I've got it in the 16:9. You've got a bunch of options down here. You can put on a timer or a countdown as you see fit. You've then also got the option to go with either standard or then into the wide. So you can see it really opens up when you're in the wide mode. So that's one of the options there. In video, similar kind of thing, but even more functionality here. So in the top right, I can see that I can either have stabilization off. I can go with rock steady, which crops just a little bit. Rock steady plus, which crops a little bit more, but gives us even more stabilization. Or horizon balancing, which is very cool. So that balances out the horizon, or horizon steady. So what this does is I can fully twist the camera around, do all sorts of things, and it's going to keep that horizon rock steady. You know, even if I'm really turning it, even if it's on a bike and it's moving around, it's really going to prioritize the horizon for that mode. Now, for me, I was using Rock Steady Plus most of the time, and you have a few different field of view options here, or focal length. So you've got standard, you've got wide, and then you've got ultra wide, which is even wider again. You can see if you go between different modes, certain field of view options or focal lengths won't be available. So you can see for horizon balancing and horizon steady, there's no extra options, it's just standard. In Rock Steady Plus, that's where it gives us a bunch of options. Rock Steady, we get the same options, and then if it's off, you still get the same options there. So like I said, for me, Rock Steady Plus was the sweet spot. And then from there, you can see there's a bunch of different resolution options, all the way up to 4K, and then up to 120 frames per second, which is very impressive. You can see there's an option to press the I to give you some more information. And so right now I'm in 4K, 120 frames per second, Rock Steady Plus in wide. And that's what I was using a lot of the time when I was out and about traveling. Very cool stuff. If we go into Super Night, it limits it a little bit here. So we can go up to 4K 60, but you can see I can't go to 120. It's 4K 60 for this one. We've got Rock Steady Plus, and that's it in this mode. So again, you just got to keep that in mind, and that's what I wanted to show you here. Not every single feature is available in every single mode. So Rock Steady, we've got standard or we've got wide. Rock Steady Plus, we've got standard or wide. And so that's what we can expect from Super Night mode. In subject tracking mode, this is limited again, so it's literally just standard. That's all you've got, and it goes 2.7K as the max, up to 60 frames per second. And so that mode there, as I showed you before, is the tracking mode. It tracks subjects. You can see it's doing a great job of me in the background there. Very cool stuff. And yeah, we've got slow motion, which is really cool. We can go 1080p up to 240 frames a second, or we can go 2.7K 120 frames, or 4K 120 frames. You've only got the option for standard or wide, no stabilization options here, as you can see. So that's what you can expect from the slow motion mode. And then time lapse gives you a bunch of options. So you can either go time lapse or you can go hyperlapse. I found myself using hyperlapse. A bunch of options within both. And let's just say with hyperlapse, we've got the option for standard, wide, or ultra wide. You can't add any stabilization to that mode, but you can go up to 4K 30 frames per second. So you can see there's a bunch of different modes. And that's just, yeah, what I thought would be helpful for you guys to see. If you are considering this camera, these are all the different modes that you can expect from it.